Good evening, everyone. My name is Victor Vasquez. I'm a member of KQED's Community Advisory Panel. We are a group who provides support, give feedback to, and engage KQED in community building. I want to start with land acknowledgement. KQED headquarters located on Ramitus Ohlone occupied lands. We want to recognize that we work and live in the greater Ohlone lands of the Bay Area. I'm delighted to welcome you to KQED Live for the comments here at our newly renovated headquarters in San Francisco's Mission neighborhood. KQED Live is a new, multi-platform live events series dedicated to bringing journalism to life on stage, amplifying local culture, and building community. We are thrilled to be presenting Dónde Esta Mi Gente, a dynamic cabaret of performance, yes, by Latinx performers, curated by Bay Area writer, performer, and storyteller, Baruch Porras-Hernandez. Originally created in 2014 with the help of a grant from Galeria de la Raza, this series holds space for spoken word, music, and comedy by Latinx artists, who he saw less and less of performing in San Francisco. Since then, he has showcased over 60 Latinx performers. And it's on nights like tonight that we make KQED's mission to inform, inspire, and involve tangible through dialogue with civic leaders and community members, through screenings, performances, live storytelling, and more. And you can learn more about events like this and get tickets at kqed.org/live. We want to thank the seasoned sponsors that make KQED Live possible: Asian Art Museum, Berkeley Rep, Comcast Business, Oakland International Airport. And we are so grateful for their commitment to supporting our mission of civic and cultural engagement in the Bay Area. We also want to thank our outreach partners for this evening: Galeria de la Raza, Yerba Buena Garden Festival, Queer Rebel Productions, Queer Cultural Center, and Quiet Lightning for getting the word out about the show. And I want to thank all of you for being among the first members of the public to bring this space to life and for staying committed to the value of gathering. Let's take care of each other tonight and make sure those of us seated in the audience remain fully masked through the evening. That way we can keep gathering safely. Now it's my great pleasure to give the stage to Baruch Porras-Hernandez.
Thank you. Give it up one more time for Victor. Yay! And give it up for me. Yay! I am so happy that you're all here, and I love this space. Look at this amazing space. Oh my goodness, nice. It's making me feel so fancy. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, all of you, for being here. Bienvenidos a Dónde Esta Mi Gente tonight, November 3rd, 2021. Oh my God, I can't believe we're here. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming to the show. It is so nice to not be performing in my underwear. Don't worry, I'm wearing underwear, but this isn't a Zoom show. I mean, it is. Hello to everyone at home who is watching in the safety of your homes. Thank you for tuning in, but I am so excited that you're all here in person and that I'm on an actual stage, not wearing sweatpants in my room, terrified for my life. I mean, I'm still terrified about a lot of things, but I'm so, so grateful. I woke up today feeling a little grumpy because I couldn't sleep last night because I was a little worried. You know, sometimes that just happens as an organizer, an artist, human who reads the news. And so I woke up and I was like, why am I so cranky? I live in one of the most beautiful cities in the world, full of amazing artists and queer people, and I am just so lucky to be able to do what I do. So I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart because, when you start out as an artist, I didn't think I was going to keep doing this for this long. When I started Dónde Esta Mi Gente in 2014, I kind of was like, you know what? I'll just do the literary festival, and then after that, I'll be done. Maybe I'll do it again, maybe I won't. And I never thought that I'd still be doing shows like these with incredible artists in 2021. So, but I wouldn't be able to do it alone. And I remember walking in to Galeria de la Raza and having my life changed. Up to that moment, I'd been, in plays, when the theater world can be very white, and I'd been in like slam poetry, which also can be a little white. Well, back then it was. And I walked into Galeria de la Raza during a lunada and was blown away. It changed my life to see other performers like me doing the thing and like rocking it out. And so I just was like, how can I keep this going? And I remember I would walk into a space and that was the first thing I would think, ¿Dónde está mi gente? I would look for the Latinos, the Latinx people. I would be like, ¿Dónde está mi gente? I want to see someone here that looks like me or comes from my background. And I would find sometimes the one Mexican across the room and make eye contact and figure out a way to say hi. And I realized until I walked into Galeria de la Raza, I'd been doing all these shows where I was the only Mexican in the lineup or the only queer person in the lineup. And so when I talked to Ani Rivera, everybody please help me, round of applause for Ani Rivera. I was like, I think I want to start a Latinx literary showcase. I don't know if and she was like, yes, and we're gonna help you write that grant. She just right away was like, let's do this. And then we got the grant, and then we've been doing shows ever since. So I am so grateful to all the folks that have helped Dónde Está Mi Gente along the way and have helped me along the way. So I just wanted to get all that out of the way. I am bursting with gratitude. I mean, look at this. I wore my special coat because I'm so happy. I didn't make it myself. It was supposed to be my Halloween costume. I was supposed to be Bear Harley Quinn from Batman. So I bought it and I was ready. I was so happy to wear it, and then the pandemic happened. So I was like, oh well, and so I added some ribbons to it, and I've just been performing in it ever since, and doing the thing. So I'm super grateful to everyone that has helped Dónde Está Mi Gente, especially KQED. Please, just one more round of applause for KQED, because they're just so supportive and amazing, and they kind of, they pamper me. They treat me like a consentido, and I love it. But enough about me. I wish I was in the audience with y'all. The best part about Dónde Está Mi Gente is that I get to just, if I see a performer that I love, when you see a movie and you're like, I gotta tell all my friends. That's how I am with Dónde Está Mi Gente. If I see a performer that I love, I'm just like, I can't wait to put them in Dónde Está Mi Gente. And so that's what the show is tonight. All of these artists that I have picked have touched me, have made me laugh, have made me cry. Speaking about crying, I saw this performer at this incredible show that y'all should go to called Voz Sin Tinta at an amazing bookstore in the Mission, I think formerly known as Alley Cat Books. I think they have a new name now. It was bought by community poetas in the Bay Area. And she made me cry so much. I walked up afterwards and I hope I didn't scare her because I was this tall, crying Mexican going like, remind me your name. I want to do shows with you. And I've been performing with her ever since. I think this might be her 7th Dónde Está Mi Gente show with us, and I'm just gonna shut up. She has everybody tonight has an incredibly long bio. They're all they have accolades, they have awards, they have published stuff. But we're not here to listen to a long bio. We're here to watch them do their thing. So everybody, please, with me, take a deep breath, let it out, and let's get ready for the show. Please help me welcome the incredible Amanda Muñiz.
Hear me okay? I'll just get onto it. This is from my grandpa, mi abuelito Jose. Black butterflies. La abuela did not allow black butterflies in the house. She smashed them with the same stick she mopped the floors, dyeing the walls with the black dust of their tiny scales, the black pigment of their pattern tinting the walls into Rorschach ink blots. Black butterflies were a bad omen. No, No mariposas, polillas. La abuela would grab any old rag and wipe the wall, but the blood never truly disappeared. She would wash her hands and the rag clean. El polvo de sus alas te vuelve ciego. ¿Ciego a qué? In a mythology not our own, black dogs were shunned at night, the reflective lighting of their retina making them messengers of death. ¿Cómo cruza un mito el océano? How does a myth cross an ocean? Maybe in the same way a body does. Unwilling, shackled by ignorance. What difference does it make? This isn't Noah's Ark, as its contents will be treated less than animals. A small myth among the bodies of God's creation. Black dogs are death, the myth whispers. We've been conditioned to fear moonless nights, become afraid to face all that could be, or was, or is. Why does staring into blackness scare you? Is your skin too closely related to the tint of a moth's wing? Was death not a welcome face among our people? Is a sholo not a healer, a guide, a god? Could it be that the sins of our ancestors are too heavy a burden to talk about? Victims can turn into perpetrators in the process of healing, in the process of reclaiming space, in the process of making space. Did we forget that space is infinite? No, not forgotten, conditioned disbelief. What do black butterflies, black dogs, and moonless nights have in common? Thank you. And since this is Dónde Esta Mi Gente, it wouldn't be right without some Spanish. So, following poem, El desierto se las tragó. Creo que fui dejando las palabras en el camino, y el desierto, como buen cobrador vestuto, se las tragó como pago. Ahora, entre los cuerpos de los que se perdieron o fueron abandonados, las palabras se refunden en el estómago del desierto, como los demás esperando a ser halladas. En la escuela decían que cuando escribes una palabra y se te olvida una letra, te comiste esa letra. Siento que desde hace mucho, como el desierto, me he estado comiendo palabras completas. ¿Qué pasa cuando uno se traga una palabra? Por momentos, como huesos se atoran en la garganta, se entierran en el esófago, haciéndolas imposibles de regurgitar o digerir. Otras veces, estas son las palabras que se nos quedan en la punta de la lengua, en el precipicio del casi. Mi lengua, torpe e ignorante del primer lenguaje con que aprendió a comunicarse, rellena los huecos, constantemente cosiendo palabras como los dos lados de una herida que no cierra. Mapear, parqueadero, liqueando, lonche, viles. Palabras que como rezos no reviven a los muertos, pero hieren aunque sea un poco el hueco de las palabras que la mente enterró. Quizá, como en el cuento, yo dejé mis palabras atrás, como migas de pan para encontrar el camino de regreso. Pero el desierto, sabiendo que un viaje entre sus entrañas es más que suficiente, las devoró en cuentas, que son un par de palabras a cambio de la vida. Y aún así, desde mi propio vientre, en las noches, no sé si son los muertos o mis palabras llamando mi regreso, rogando que lo poco que queda de ellos sea recuperado. Acentos, costilla, modismos, clavícula, adjetivo, cráneo, conjunción, columna. Mientras buscaba por palabras en las hojas de un diccionario, recordé que en un edificio cerca de la frontera yacen los restos de los no identificados. Y me pregunto si, como yo, en mi diccionario, alguien ojea la información de los restos buscando por lo que fue perdido. And then I got one more. I think that should be... I just want to say thank you to my friends and my therapist and and you know, always grow towards the sun. Phototropism. I've learned to seal my wounds, callous tissue compartmentalizing the injury, but some scars stay numb until they develop nerves, branches slowly growing until the body becomes a tree trunk. Some wounds leave underlying conditions, affecting bones and joints. What if the pain is in the soil, roots, and all things inherited? Generations of people grew up thinking they were trees, unaware they belonged to a forest of people conditioned to pain. Some of our branches are grafted scars our parents acquired from their parents, recurring imprints, ancient inheritance. It's a sparkle in our eyes, the remnants of our predecessors' tears. Will they too one day flow in the bloodstream of our children? Will the scars we neglect to feel sprout in the bodies of our descendants? Internal damage can develop scar tissue that takes the place of healthy tissue. How does one differentiate from the bad and the good when all of it's compiled into the same being? How do we hack away the ugly when the beauty of growth is balanced on the same system? I have been part of a forest of people who have contributed to the trauma in my life, but have also supplied it with the fertility of perseverance. Learning to grow from pain is a skill acquired through experience. I think I have a bit more time, so I can sneak one more in. Sometimes I count my secrets before I go to sleep, hoping the sheer number frightens my lids closed. And when those don't bring slumber, I count the number of things I've held on to. What is one more unsaid thing in the body of a woman? I have built shrines to mistakes that I pray to every night. I am the wrathful gods of the pantheon and the faithful congregation. I've wiped my heart on blades of guilt, not looking for penance, just momentary relief that I've punished myself enough for others, and confessed my sins to empty rooms, not wanting absolution. Just more space to divulge what I feel is a sea trapped in a bottle, or maybe a sea of bottles, all holding maps to undisclosed locations in my life where I've not been enough or too much. What is one more unsaid thing in the body of a woman? If we are made of secrets, are we made of anything at all? What is one more unsaid thing in the body of a woman? If we hold on to everything, are we then not made of regret? What is one more unsaid thing in the body of a woman? How is our silence more infinite than that of the night? Trying to fill these nocturnal cracks, I mutter affirmations into darkness. I've succeeded in building entombments of words that I hope in the morning will rise as mellified answers to the why, but at night are merely more unsaid things in the body of a woman. Thank you.
All right, our next poeta I met back in 2014 at the Lambda Literary Fellowship retreat. I was just a little chubby Mexican who went to LA and was nervous about meeting new writers, and we were both in the poetry cohort. And right away, I was like, oh, we're friends. Like, they were the most friendly person there, and then also happened to be very talented, and also happened to be very, like, attractive, and always looks good. So I'm always like, ugh. And even tonight, I was like, this is my show. You can't outstage me looking like that with those boots. Just wait till they come out. Their book is titled, and it's a brand new book titled Like Sugar. All of you, please buy their book. Please welcome the very talented. They've won a ton of awards. They've done fellowships. I'm just so happy they're here. Please help me welcome Roberto F. Santiago. Looking gorgeous in those boots.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to read a few poems from my new collection, Like Sugar, which is out this Saturday from Nomadic Press. And I'm very scared about that, but I'm going to pretend I'm not. So the first poem, I hate cilantro, and I'm sorry. But I'm one of those people that it tastes like soap to them. So this is what the title of this poem is, A Fate Worse Than Coriander, Chinese Parsley, or Cilantro. It is gruesome to know your body will stop at nothing to be whole again. It will ooze and grow itself back together. Bones fuse, tails grow back. Shells and skin are shed and you are made again, different. There's no way not to be. Según tu punto de vista, yo soy la mala. Vampiresa en tu novela. When I was a little boy, I was obsessed with sadness. I thought everyone was so beautiful that way. The way their eyes danced like champagne. I forced myself to cry as a child by telling myself that no one would ever love me. I said it like a mantra, sometimes in the mirror, but mostly lying on my back until I felt the slow tears pooling in my ears. I imagined that my ceiling fan was a cameraman. I would stare into the lens until I got dizzy. This swirling was my big movie moment. Something where I would burst into song, something in Spanish, something dramatic about being a woman scorned like my tías and my tías before them. Es un gran necio, un estúpido ingrata. As I grew into my looks, I did not have to fake these songs. I became my tías. I sung them with as much fire as before, but I didn't have to coax the tears. I learned that men would love me as much as I could hurt. El viento, viejito, pianoed, pushed from earth, the insides were carved words. Enough of them to keep me here with you, like a monument. Longer than I should have been, but when I'm gone, speak of me as if I'm still here. It's the very least you could do. Don't force my body onto another plane so you can sleep the rabbits dumb with smoke. I cannot bear to live the rest of my life inside a hole, a cast of a body, a was and ever, and all the ways that love can feel. The problem with losing something you love is not the without. It's the moment you realize you will survive without. There are a few ways that you can die from that realization because your body was built to break. This one is titled Understudy, and I'm not gonna explain it, even though I want to. Not enough time. Understudy. After another sangria, I finally said it. With someone. Across from me sat M, his face checkered with stars, but not stars, tea lights. He never told me he was with me, perhaps out of respect for my relationship, perhaps because he was waiting for me to say something. With is a funny word when it follows I'm in love. You only want it to follow one thing, you. M grabbed my hand. This was not a vigil, until it was. Years ago, after a night so tequila his dimples filled in, M and I took a cab uptown. Lying across the back seat, his head was in my lap, he smiled up at me, and I fell. He was a beautiful dancer, and when we danced, his lower lip would skip across mine, a mistake for which I would hold my breath to make sure he would make it one more time. And he always would. After sangria number whatever, he wondered aloud, with whom? If this were a reality show, we would go to commercial here. During the break, viewers and superfans would tweet Team M, or Redditors would bitch about the Ross and Rachelness of it all. This would be part one of a two-part cliffhanger with a 2-week break before the finale. Coworkers would bicker over bars and PBRs, and strangers would harumph in waiting rooms. Besties would leave brunch no longer friends. After much sangria in many pictures, I said it. I'm gonna leave him. His voice was soft as wool, like his hand. Like why not me? Soft as don't go. Wolf like you don't have to. Soft like you scare me. Wolfen, how could you? Oh my God, the time is almost done? All right. So I'm gonna try to sneak 2 in, but it might just be 1. So this one is titled Self-Portrait as a Boy in Nail Polish. That boy sweet! Sweet like sugar should be. Like a mango gets. Sweet so sweet it gets caught between your teeth. Orange honey blossom syrupy as agave is sweet. Sweet enough to sugar the red out of some Kool-Aid. That boy got more than a little sugar in his tank. Sweet as flowers bloom in morning dew, and the beauty seems to say, It's a pleasure when you treasure all that's new and true. And that boy Kanye stabbed through a mojito, begging to lay in teeth. That boy folded hands and crossed legs. Don't start none, won't be none. Sugar pie, honey bunch. Sweeter than rainbow sprinkled buttercream. Sweeter than water ice or piraguas in July. That boy sweeter than a mug of hot cocoa and cinnamon, of marshmallow fluff or chata, of sweet tea on ice, velvet amaretto granita, sweet as lavender madeleines. That boy is Nutella, whispered on a street corner in gay Paris. Maraschino cherries soaked in Pepsi, and candied raspberries after hotboxing up the coast. Burn your throat, he's so sweet. Well, I think I could still feel one more in. This one is titled You Therefore, and this is after Reginald Shepard. If you don't know the author Reginald Shepard, hopefully you will look into them and maybe hit me send me a DM. Anyway, You Therefore. When I try to remember myself before there was you, I stand between orbits of memory too distant to reach. And in the time it took to surrender, I have never been more free. It's in the seconds that burn away, raising me up just enough to pull you down into and onto my loss of breath. I belong wherever you are, and hope and dream. I give you shelter within my trappings of skin, all the while proclaiming that you are the sole heir to my oscillating limbs. Each of your words, Sakura, still to the rise and fall of my chest when you finally see me seeing you from the distance of arms. May our song catch fire amongst limb and freckle and hair and bone, burn ember and writhe into whatever water whispers wet to quiet whim and will in favor of wanton want in every sense we acquiesce and evanesce the evidence ever since the very first days we ever spent together night forevermore. Thank you so much.
What did I tell you, right? Those boots? I mean, the poetry was good too, but those boots, oh my goodness. Please follow Roberto F. Santiago on all the social medias. They're also a musician. They have an album out, I think, but also buy their book. I also want to take a quick little moment to have y'all give yourselves a big round of applause, please. Please, because there was a moment when things were really scary. The pandemic is still going on, but there was a moment that it was like, oh, as an artist, I was like, am I ever gonna get to perform again? Am I ever gonna get to be in a room with people who love poetry as much as I do again? And then it was like almost 2 years, but we're here and I'm super grateful. And I'm also, thank you for everyone wearing your masks and putting your lives in danger for poetry. So please give yourselves a round of applause for supporting poetry. We're so grateful to live in a Bay Area where stuff like this is supported. And yes, this is a different coat that I put on. Joanne told me that I could not have Go-Go Boy, so I said, fine, I will have a lot of wardrobe changes. Speaking of which, not as young as I used to be, so that wasn't as fast as I wanted it to be. Anywho, I love my new coat. It reminds me of the colors of a donut. And because of the pandemic, I can't hand out donuts tonight. I was like, so many rules. But but yes, our next performer, during the scarier part of the pandemic, I was invited to perform in Kerouac Alley. And at the time, we were doing Dónde Esta Mi Gente shows on Zoom, virtually. So my co-curator, Reina de Leon, was helping me curate the show and helping me reach out to artists. So she booked half there was several shows that she booked all of them. And sometimes I would just be like, I trust you, cool, let's do the show. And so I went to Kerouac Alley in North Beach and we performed, and it's before the vaccine came out. So it was very hard as an artist to bring the energy up because everybody was wearing their masks. Everybody was staying literally more than 6 feet away. Some people weren't. You know those people that during the pandemic, they would just walk right up to you and then I would be like, And then they would be like, and I would be like, what the hell is wrong with you? You know, like, what's going on? But it was like a weird, sad, somber poetry show. And even I made the mistake of asking the audience. I was like, do y'all want something funny or something sad? And they were like, funny, please. And so I started doing funny poetry, and none of the jokes were landing because they were all still too sad. They were like, I could see in their eyes, everybody was like, so much death, like disease. So nobody wanted to hear, you know, my sexy poetry jokes. And then the headliner performed and was so fantastic. Everyone started dancing a little. You could see it in their eyes. They were perking up. And I was like, I don't know who they are, but I'm booking them as soon as the show is over. I'm going to book them. And then I went over to Josiah Luis, who was the curator and host. I was like, who is that person? I'm going to book them. And they were like, oh, that's Dizzy Jenkins. And I was like, oh, I've already booked them. They're in my show a month from now. So I felt very good. I was like, oh, good, thank you, universe. And so we did the show, and I fell in love with her, and I'm so happy that she's here to perform with us tonight. Everybody, please help me welcome the incredible Dizzy Jenkins.
What's going on, y'all? Y'all good? Good. I'm Dizzy. How's everybody doing? Hopefully well. This is my barril. And the following songs are all based on true stories from my album Skeleton Key. And unfortunately, my guitarist could not be here today to participate in the acoustic part of this performance. So shout out to Todd Burnham, one of my dear friends who played guitar on Skeleton Key, who couldn't be here this evening with me. So please keep Todd in prayer. He's fine. He's just at Disneyland with his family. Let's go. Esto te lo pido, Padre mío, por favor, siguen adelante, hermanos míos, por favor, déjame entrar, déjame entrar. Una madre tuvo que dejar su tierra a cruzar un río frío. Con su hijo tuvo que dejar su tierra. Ay, Dios mío, déjame entrar, déjame entrar. Esto te lo pido, Padre mío, por favor. adelante, Padre mío, por favor, por favor, déjame entrar, déjame entrar, déjame entrar, déjame entrar. Gracias. I'm pretty sure everyone in the audience has been asked, what kind of music do you like, right? Everybody's gotten that question once or twice, right? By show of hands, who's been like, I listen to everything except Christian rock. What y'all got against Christian rock? They doing the Lord's work. I always hear, I like everything except country music, right? I'm glad y'all do. Cool. This next song is called What Tomorrow Brings. I've been sitting in my sorrows, on my aching back. I've been hearing about these angels, don't know where they're at. In the dark I try to walk, I cannot see a thing. So I close my eyes and wait for what tomorrow brings. Let's try. Here upon a bleeding earth, the devil's on the loose. We've been crying about our oceans, the hellions and Zeus. I've been carrying her sorrows on my aching back. I've been hearing about these angels, don't know where they're at. That's right. Lord, I must forgive my mama, she don't know my pain. When I heal, then all my brothers, they will feel the same. And I swear I love my friends, but we don't talk no more. Someday I'ma pack my bags up, walk right out that door. That's right. Thank you. Had a rough breakup earlier this year. I decided it was time to end my relationship with resilience because I'm tired. Tired of being strong. So from here on out, everybody, I'm mush. Please be careful with me. This song is called You Decide. Some days I feel so overwhelmed. Some days I'm barely out of bed. And other days I float above the clouds. But other days I'm all up in my head. Funny how it's so inconsistent. Never know what the day will bring. All I know is I do my best, and none of us are okay, it seems. But if I wrote this song today, what kind of day is today? Said if I wrote this song today, tell me what kind of day is today? You decide. And some days I feel like a beautiful girl, and other days I'm who I wanna be. But other days I don't know who I am. And other days I'm aching to be free. And funny how it's so inconsistent. Never know what the day will bring. All I know is I do my best, and none of us are okay, it seems. And if I wrote this song today, what kind of day is today? Tell me, if I wrote this song today, then what kind of day is today? Well, everyone's got their good suggestions, telling me what I'm doing wrong. All I know is I do my best, and maybe I just need one more song. So if I wrote this song today, what kind of day is today? All I know is I'm alive. If I wrote this song today, and tell me what kind of day is today? Said if I wrote this song today, what kind of day is today? All I know is that you decide. If I wrote this song today, and tell me what kind of day is today, I decide. Thank you. Not bad for a song that came to me while I was crying in the shower one day. Thank you. So again, this is off the album Skeleton Key. If you feel so inclined, go to my Bandcamp, Dizzy Jenkins. Go throw me a couple coins for it. I have one more for y'all, if that's okay. I would like to dedicate this next song called Land of the Have-Nots to my sister Delilah, aka Stormy, who just passed away in July. My sister struggled with substance abuse and mental health issues. And in the streets of Wichita, Kansas, she referred to everybody in the same situation as the subculture. I happened to write this song while I was on the 72 bus at night going through Oakland one day and seeing, you know, just folks in the street, girls on the corner, things like that. I just want to say, as the world gets crazier, we're relying on each other for more humanity. Even if that person is not related to you, even if it's not something that you personally can relate to, have some compassion, have some humanity. So I would like to just keep my sister Delilah en mente, presente con mi gente aquí. Vámonos. In the land of the have-nots, people go by, staring at each other with empty eyes. Said all we know is struggle, horrors and lies, and all we do is seek each other, asking Mama prayed to Jesus for her little light, standing on San Pablo well into the night. She walked around in circles, waiting for the light of day. Oh Lord, in the land of the have-nots, truth is our gold. 'Cause you know my history books ain't got the same stories my daddy told. No. Say he ain't got no shelter, he ain't got no rights. All he got is Jesus, he pray every night. 'Cause ain't nobody out there, ain't nobody trying to fight for us, no. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la la, oh my, oh my, my. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la la, oh my, oh my, my. Thank you, I'm Dizzy. Que viva Puerto Rico libre.
Let's give it up one more time for Dizzy Jenkins. Because, oh my God. Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you so much. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Just gonna put it over here so I don't step on it. All right. Okay. Our next performer once was a little boy in Mexico, and he dreamed of crossing the border and coming here to steal all of your jobs and make out with all of your husbands and boyfriends and eat all the donuts he wants. Why? Porque sí se puede. Please welcome to the stage Baruch Porras-Hernandez. Oh my God, that's me. Oh my. I'm already on stage. I want to take a moment to, because why not? Thank my parents. Who here has immigrant parents? Raise your hands. I can't see you, but let's clap for immigrant parents. The other day, my mom was like, I don't know, I think I'm getting a little too old to keep working. If only I had a son that would just take care of me. And I just was like, you should have thought of that before immigrating here. You should have immigrated to Canada, lady, because they take care of their old people up there. I don't know about here. Time to put your cha-cha heels on, Mom, and start seducing an old gringo with money, because my dad is such a wonderful guy. Ever since I was little, I remember trying to hide how creative and gay I was. And he would give me pointers, like on when to show myself, my creativity, as he called it, and when not to. And I remember being 5 and being like, okay, I gotta hide it. And I remember one time asking him, like, are you ashamed of me? And he got like a little mad. He was like, no, never. You are the most interesting person I've ever met. We just live in Mexico, and this is the 80s, and I don't want you to get your, butt kicked. So just giving you little pointers. And last month, I did something I forgot on the internet that was a little scandalous, and he called me, and I was like, uh-oh. And I was like, hi, Dad. And he was like, hey, can you send me a copy of that picture? I mean, I can't tell you what it was, because this is a KQED show. And I was like, you sure you want that, Dad? He's like, yes. I'm gonna send it to all of your tíos y tías in Mexico to let them know you're still the most interesting part of our entire family. I was like, qué peleonero, papá, siempre te estás peleando con tus hermanos. And they're immigrant parents, so sometimes I literally once I got like a neighborhood literary hero award with Quiet Lightning. I love Quiet Lightning. I hope they're here in the audience tonight. And I was so excited because my first poetry show ever in San Francisco before I moved here was a Quiet Lightning neighborhood heroes show. They were like honoring people they thought were neighborhood heroes. And I was like, one day I hope to be a part of the show. Like, I want to move to the city. I want to be a big part of the city. And then I think 10 years later, I got it. And so I went home and I told my mom, and I was like, Mom, I got this neighborhood heroes thing, and it was a show, and it was an honor. And she was like, okay, tú siempre andas con tus cositas. Because immigrant parents, she was like, have you paid off your student loans yet? What is your 5-year plan for the future, hijo? And every time I get something, I told her, Mom, I'm getting my poetry books published. She was like, sí, siempre con tus cositas. Have you paid off your student loans? And then I finally did. With poetry money, I paid off my student loans. Thank you. She started crying. She was like, I was like, Mom, why are you crying? It's just money. And she was like, I guess this means I haven't failed as a parent. She was like, you're doing something responsible. And so I've gotten used to, over the years, just kind of not sharing things with them, because sometimes, no matter how hard you try, if you're a weird queer artist, your immigrant parents are just going to be confused, and they're going to be like, okay, well, I love you, but they just, don't get it. And so for a while, I thought my mom just wasn't going to come to my shows ever again because she's older, or just wasn't interested. And then one day, before I went on tour, she called me and she was like, get over here now. It's important. And I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, just get over here. And she lives in the East Bay and I live here. So I was like, oh God. And I got like really stressed out. And I was like, something's wrong with her. And I like put, my pants on and my everything on. And I was like kind of in a bad mood. I was like, man, I wanted to get high and watch cartoons tonight. I don't want to go all the way to the East Bay. I hope her health is okay. Is she mad at me? And I take a lift all the way over there. And I show up and I'm like, Mom, what is it? What is it? She was like, shh. I just want to make sure this fits you. And she brought out this blazer for me. And I was like, Mom, what the heck is that? And she was like, for your shows. Because, it's important to you and it's important to me too. So I saw this and I thought, oh, shiny like my son. And I was so shocked. I was like, oh my God, thank you. And then she, she's my mom, so sometimes she hasn't been cool with me being a chubby boy and always wants me to watch what I eat. And she was like, and I knew I was probably stressing you out by making you come here in such less notice. So I went out and bought you some Taco Bell. And she brings out this 2 bags of Taco Bell. And I was just like, you are my mom. You do love me. Me quieres. So I just want to tell y'all the story of my coat, because my mom is nice. All right, it's time for a poem. This first poem is titled, Resting Gently on Her Unibrow. She had several self-portraits in which she painted an object on her forehead. If it was a small image of her husband, the portrait would be titled, Thinking of Diego. If it was a small image of a skull on her forehead, the portrait would be titled, Thinking of Death. Oh, Frida, if only I could live as a small painting on your forehead, resting gently on your unibrow like this, with a small painting on my forehead of a donut. The portrait would be titled, Frida Kahlo, thinking of Baruch Porras-Hernandez, thinking of a donut. And on top of the donut, where its little donut forehead would be, between the sprinkles, another painting of Frida Kahlo. And on her forehead, another painting of me. And on my forehead, yet another painting of a donut. And so on, and so on, and forever, and forever, and forever, and forever, and forever, and forever. The end. My next poem is titled, I've rewritten it several times because, as we all know, remember when we thought it was gonna be 2 weeks, a month tops? I remember I almost didn't take my laptop home. Like my boss was like, take your laptop with you. And I was like, we'll be back in a week. Can't you just let me, take a little break? I'll use my own laptop. And he was like, take your laptop with you. We don't know if it's gonna be a week or 2 weeks. And then I never saw him again, because no, he's alive. He's alive. He's alive. But 6 months later, he moved to Texas and got a new job. And here we are. It's the longest work from home I've ever had. So I've had to rewrite this poem several times. It is titled, Tips on How to Survive a Pandemic. Go for a walk once a day. Try to be around trees. Try not to think about ghosts. Don't do it. Don't think about ghosts. Don't think about the over 600,000 new ghosts walking around, wondering what happened. 600,000 new ghost voices asking why. New ghosts crowding into boarded up empty San Francisco bars, sitting in empty movie theaters. Play some music for these new ghosts. Pour them a drink. Put your hand out to the air to maybe touch some ghostly hand, or get a ghost high five from someone who misses touching someone as much as you do. Light a candle for them. Speak the words, I'm sorry, in the dark, even though you did what you could. You stayed inside, you wore your mask, you washed your hands. Let Netflix play on a loop as you clean your room in case the new ghosts want something to watch. Let yourself cry as much as your body needs you to. On that note, don't forget to hydrate. Call a friend once a day, even if you run out of things to talk about. Try talking about the best positions to cry in despair. Like on the floor, against a wall, in the bathroom, or stick to the classics. Lie down and be depressed on your own actual bed. During lockdown, when you feel alone, picture a room full of everyone you have ever loved. All of them. All of your friends from all walks of life, high school, college, after college, that job you hated that made all of you bond, your past lovers, your frenemies, everyone in one giant space looking amazing. Close your eyes, have a dance party in your head, go wild. Wear your mask, wash your hands, call your mom, get vaccinated, write letters, video chat your friends. Think about how you will all be in the same space together again someday, maybe enjoying a literary show. And make it rough, but you gotta push through. Do it for the people who love you. Do it for the people we lost. Do it for you. Google how to punch Nazis in the throat to take them down, even though you have no upper body strength. Don't think about how you might make it through the worst part of a pandemic and come out completely dismantled, like a gay Mexican Jenga tower that doesn't know how to stack itself back together again, with missing pieces, with pants that don't fit, and has completely forgotten how to navigate crowds or situations. Don't think about how you might make it through the worst part of a pandemic to find out your cancer has come back. What a bummer. When things start to get a little better, get vaccinated. And as soon as you can, gather a room full of vaccinated hot bears and otters and have let's just say, get your freak on. Feel hundreds of invisible hands. All of the men that we lost in the last pandemic holding your back, caressing your neck as you dive into the pile of naked, vaccinated, either undetectable or on prep, sweaty, nude men kissing and doing other things. Feel the lips of those ghosts bless the sweat on your forehead as you brace for round 2. Dance in a room alone to a sexy and or romantic song. It's okay, no one will see you. Close all your blinds, close your curtains. This time, don't picture a room full of your friends. Make it a dance floor full of queer strangers, all dancing close and slowly together, passionately. See a handsome man across the room. Slowly move towards each other like a musical. Slowly touch each other's hands. Take in the scent of this man as you begin to dance. Let him press himself against you, even though you don't even know his name. Feel his cheek on your cheek. Smile every time each of your ears brush softly together with each dance move, both leading, both following. Close your eyes and let your heart open again. Picture a room in the future where you will let your heart open again and sing. The end. Thank you. A lot of you know that I'm a writer and a poet and a performer, but I also do stand-up comedy. Please go to my next comedy show. Please follow me on social media. I don't have any followers. I'm so poor. But I also like to draw. It was like the first thing I started doing. My mom swears I started drawing when I was 2. I don't know. She's got photo evidence. But I do a little comic online called Tiny Baruch. It's like a little cheapy version of me inspired by the art of Adventure Time and Steven Universe. And follow Tiny Baruch online to see all of his adventures. And so this is a brand new, just for y'all, never before seen Tiny Baruch story that is going to be behind me. It is titled Tiny Rocket Man. Now that the pandemic is winding down, everyone seems to be talking about the future, and I can't really picture mine. My future is not something I can visualize right now. All I seem to be able to see is nothing. Aside from stress, money, and drama, being an artist mostly brings you joy, a joy I've always been able to grasp with my own 2 chubby hands, a joy that makes me feel real. For a while now, my hands have felt empty. Lately, I've been looking for a sign. When my parents got divorced, well, when my mother finally left my father, our world was ripped apart. We fled from the house one day. We drove around. There was nowhere to go. Right when we got into the car, a storm began to scream across the Bay Area. We drove around forever in the rain. My mother seemed to be driving in circles looking for something. Finally, my mother started to drive to our spot on top of the Berkeley Hills. I was 16. I said, "Mom, there's a storm right now. We're not going to be able to see the view. Why are we driving up there?" "Because God is going to give me a sign," she said. Then, funny enough, when we got to the top of the Berkeley Hills, the storm stopped, the sky cleared, and a giant rainbow appeared out of nowhere across the bay. The universe has always given me a sign in my darkest times. The pandemic was rough, but I kept seeing signs of hope. And then one day they stopped. So I kept waiting patiently. Then I started to look for them, and I had to stop because I just kept finding nothing. Then the pandemic started to get better. Everybody started to find hope, started to go back to work, slowly started to go back to normal. And I still felt hopeless. Like I was underwater at the bottom of a large pool looking up, and the water is nothing but despair. I went back to therapy. That didn't work. I got a second therapist. I was like double fisting therapists. I've been working really hard to change my habits, change my outlook, or at least be grounded enough to see a sign, a symbol of hope that I feel life or the universe has always given me. But I have not found it. And I think I might not for a very long time. I'm trying to be okay with that and be patient, present, and working very hard to try to begin to forgive myself. I've always been kind of an atheist, not really, but a little bit of an atheist. And now I feel silly trying to believe that hope exists for me, even though I cannot see it. A lot of people are happily going back to normal, but a lot of us are still stuck in this weird, isolating place we can't seem to get out of. If you're like me, you're not alone. Please be kind to yourself. Even though you may feel empty, you still have hands to touch your chest and be grateful for the beating of your heart. Be grateful for your breath, for your body. You survived the worst part of a pandemic. Not many people did. I am grateful I am still alive. And even though I don't see it, I'm forcing myself to believe that one day I will look up and see things getting better. So that was Tiny Baruch. Thank you, everybody. If you follow me on social media, or if you just follow #TinyBaruch, you can see all of his adventures. He's just a little version of me. He's really positive. He loves you and he believes in you. I'm okay, you'll make it. But like Tiny Baruch is full of love. He's like the most positive part of myself in a little drawing form. So hopefully one day I can make a little book of Tiny Baruch. But enough about me. Are you ready for your headliner? Yes! I'm so excited. So one of the reasons I started Dónde Esta Mi Gente, I started for several reasons, but one of them was because I get a lot of inspiration from other artists that I look up to, artists that I feel challenge themselves more than I ever could. And Dónde Esta Mi Gente is a great way for me to reach out to those artists that inspire me and ask them to share a stage with me. Your next performer has performed all over the world. They're a writer, composer, musician, singer, illustrator. They're a powerhouse of just amazingness. Get high one night and just watch all of their YouTube videos because there is a lot of them and they're beautiful and epic. And I can't talk. Every time anyone asks me, recommend an artist to me, I recommend your headliner for tonight. Please help me welcome the incredible Dorian Wood. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much, Baruch, and everyone here tonight for being here, holding this space for all of us and for yourselves. So thank you. Thank you. This is my first performance in front of people, or should I say with people, because I feel I'm more comfortable knowing that we're all in this together. So this is my first performance in a year and a half with people in a collaborative moment. Thank you. And I would like to dedicate my performance tonight to Jonathan Cortez from Oakland. And also, all cats are beautiful. Here for the end, the healing mark of time, the crashing waves of white indifference. Dissipating honey, dissipating honey, dissipating honey. Gone and gone. Who's the palace fire? Are you the palace fire? Are you the way? Are you the way? The way. es la tristeza de mis ojos que lloran en silencio por tu amor. Me miro al espejo y veo en mi rostro el tiempo que he sufrido por tu adiós. Obligo a que te olvide el pensamiento, pues siempre estoy pensando en el ayer. Prefiero estar dormida que despierta, de tanto que me duele que no estés. Como quisiera que tú vivieras, que tus ojitos jamás se hubieran cerrado nunca y estar mirándolos. Amor eterno e inolvidable, tarde o temprano yo estaré contigo para seguir amándonos. Yo he sufrido tanto por tu ausencia. Desde ese día hasta hoy no soy feliz. Y aunque llevo tranquila la conciencia, sé que pude haber hecho mucho, mucho, mucho más por ti. Oscura soledad estoy viviendo, la misma soledad de tu sepulcro. Tú eres el amor del cual yo tengo el más triste recuerdo de Acapulco. ¿Se la saben? Por supuesto, ¿verdad? Pues si se la saben, me acompañan, ¿sí? Como quisiera que tú vivieras, que tus ojitos jamás se hubieran cerrado nunca y estar mirándolos. Amor eterno e inolvidable, tarde o temprano estaré contigo para seguir amándonos. amor eterno, eterno, amor eterno, eterno, amor eterno. He sufrido tanto, tanto por tu ausencia, amor eterno. Soledad, eso es todo lo que tengo ahora. Ay, mi soledad, eso es todo lo que tengo ahora. Amor eterno, amor eterno. Something's gotta give, something's gotta change, something's gotta give, something's gotta change. Are you gonna be, are you gonna be, are you gonna be, are you gonna be here when that change? Who hears the palace fire? Are you the palace fire? We got too many palaces. Who here's gonna be the palace fire? Who here's gonna be the palace fire? Who among us here is gonna be the palace fire? So we can put an end to it all. Palaces and all the contract killing they do. In the name of palaces, in the name of racist upkeep, in the name of contract killing for government, while we sit and weep and weep and weep. Who is gonna be the palace fire? Maybe you, maybe me, maybe together we can be the palace fire. Beyond elections, beyond the hashtags, beyond the turns, we are here to burn the palace down. Are you here to burn it down with me? I'll do you up. amor eterno, eterno amor, amor eterno.
Dorian Wood. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you. Dorian Wood, everybody. And please welcome back to the stage Roberto F. Santiago, Amanda Muniz, and Dizzy Jenkins. Before we end the night, I want everybody to please give a big round of applause to Joan Martinez, my jefa, my boss, my friend. Nice big round of applause for Joan, please. Thank you so much for coming. Muchas gracias por venir. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and have a great night, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. Let's do a little bow. Little bow. 1, 2, 3. One more. Mwah. Thank you for coming, everyone. Have a great night. Yay. They want another one. See if can we do? Can Dorian do another one? Yes. Everybody, Dorian Wood.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Muchas gracias. Oh, love you too. Thank you. Oi. Alguien dijo Chabela, ¿verdad? So Chabela and I both have the same birthday. Did y'all know that? Chabela and I come from Costa Rica. Chabela and I are both queer as F. Ya me canso de llorar y no amanece. Ya no sé si maldecirte o por ti rezar. Tengo miedo de buscarte y de encontrarte. Donde me aseguran mis amigues que te vas. Hay momentos en que quisiera mejor rajarme y arrancarme ya los clavos de mi pena. se mueren sin mirar tus ojos. Y mi cariño con la aurora te vuelve a esperar. Y agarraste por tu cuenta las paloma negra, paloma negra, ¿dónde andarás? Ya no juegues con mi honra parrandera. Si tus caricias han de ser mías y de nadie más, y aunque te amo con locura, ya no vuelvas. Paloma negra, eres la reja de un penor. Quiero ser libre, vivir mi vida con quien yo quiera. Dios, dame fuerza, que me estoy muriendo por irlo a buscar. Y agarraste por tu cuenta las Muchas gracias.
Maybe I guess I don't belong.